All right, next day, Thursday, August 26th, maybe? I don't know. We went to the Art Mart to work on, to get some supplies for the Necropolis board. Some different texture pastes. Let's flip over. So, I got both fiber paste and this absorbent ground. Got some tests running on the board itself. So we have like a medium thickish layer of fiber paste here, thin layer of fiber paste, thick transitioning into thin, and then over here we have thick absorbent ground, like undulating multi-surface right here, and then thin over here. So we're gonna be letting that go dry for a couple hours, and then we'll come back with some watercolors or gouache and see how that turns out. Really just looking to see like what kind of color bleed we can get on this. How does it dry? Gonna go from there, and then more making weird multi-shaped things over here. So getting real freaky with it. Probably gonna start assembling this stuff tonight if possible. Get more stuff on the board. I'd like to try and get it finished built today, and then I can start painting it after the tests are done. So we'll see you later. All right, we got our palette. This is an old monitor stand from work. I have a Viridian gouache, lamp black, some watercolor blue, and then watercolor burnt sienna. And I'm using a watercolor paintbrush, a water brush, I think is what it's called. I'm gonna see how this works. Get some crap in the bristles and so wet this bad boy up. So I really like how the subtle color already that we're able to get on here. It's just like really try and spread this out. And that staining is already really nice. Let's try this black. Let's see what happens with this black. Let's go on this absorbent. It's the absorbent ground. That's crazy how black that is. Okay, I dig this absorbent ground, all this variation in color. That's really sick. It's very expressionist, like, whereas this is almost like this has the texture of paper, but maybe not the actual properties, the absorbent properties. This one seems like it more has the absorbent properties. Let's go in with some of this Viridian gouache. A lot more. sienna. We have some like really interesting tonal variation in here. I'm sure if we let this dry or varnish or something, we can do some even more interesting things. And being able to reactivate this to change, you know, how it presents also gives us a lot of room to work with. You know, so far I really like this absorbent ground, but this is the paper texture is gonna be great for picking up a lot of this variation, like just giving us a lot of texture, a lot of physical texture in a more explicit way. Really thin out this watercolor, see what we can do here. See if we can take this off like the high points. Really wash this into the recesses, see what just adding a bunch of different water does to it. Different water. As opposed to the original water that I have here. I really like the way this like ethereal viridian over the black looks. I think that's probably what I'll incorporate for most of this. Cool. You haven't been able to see fuck all what I've been doing. Great. Alright, this is not what I intended to do tonight, but I kind of just got into flow state working on the Necropolis board, so that's what we're doing right now. The paste has finished drying, so now I want to test out some watercolors and see exactly how that turns out. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I'm gonna try and find a spot to prop this thing up so you can watch, but that's where we're going right now. Alright, well, you couldn't see like anything what I was doing basically, so it doesn't show up as much on the camera, but this is just some lamp black watercolor on the absorbent ground. Wiped most of that away, and then you came in with some viridian gouache. This is mixes of viridian gouache, burnt sienna watercolor, and lamp black watercolor. Just kind of seeing how it blends, like how we can modulate the color. This is just a bunch of tests of like burnt sienna that I've added water to, taken it away, splotched it. I like a lot of the texture that I'm getting. I really like how ethereal this looks, so I'm probably gonna end up doing a lot more of that on this board. I want this to be pretty like dual chromatic, so I think it's probably just gonna be like really intense reds and then like viridian for the most part. But what we've got so far for the for the board, things have changed. Zoom out a little bit. Just adding a lot more of these faces. This side is gonna be like super surreal with like a lot of these faces that are combined into multiple things. Oh, too far. Okay, I guess just one X is fine. So just multiple faces. This will be a lot more visible once we get some paint on there. Just combining stuff into these really weird shapes. I'm gonna start tossing in the opal graves too. And go from there.